What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video we're going to be talking about 3 different cryptos. We're going to do some rapid fire analysis. Not a whole lot's changed for any of these cryptos over the past month, really. Zora will be the first one that we talk about. Then we'll move on to KTA, Kita, the Cheetah, and then Cookie DAO, of course. We'll finish that off with Cookie DAO. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. Zora first, then Kita, then Cookie. It's the 13th day of January. Here we are sitting at about 3.7 cents with 6.5 hours left in this day for Zora. A little bit of a higher low here. The price ultimately has gone lower than I expected it to go, right? We were expecting, I called the low here perfectly, as perfect as it could be, genuinely. Then we called for a massive pump here, right? I even bought some Zora at that point. And then throughout this whole point, we were saying, let's wait until we get back below. I think it was like 7 cents or 8 cents, something like that. We got bullish around here, and it's just been a absolute crap fest ever since. So we got some of it pretty good, and then some of it was just been rather depressing for the last couple months. I do expect that Zora will recover. I do expect that Zora will see new all-time highs, and that we'll see exceptional gains from here. Looking at the daily RSI, we do have higher lows coming in and higher highs, and that's nice. Getting higher lows with your lower lows, that is bullish divergence, but you can only get bullish divergence so much before it turns into something else. This looks like bullish divergence. Really, I think what it is hidden bearish divergence, where you're getting higher highs in your RSI but lower highs in the price. That's not good, right? You keep getting higher highs while forming lower highs. That enables you to continue to drop without getting too hot to the oversold side. The stochastics look bearish at the moment. The MACD looks bearish as well. So with that in mind, it is possible that we do go down a little bit more. If I were to take this from a low here to a high here, we can see that our 1272 is right there at about 3 cents, and perhaps that's where we go inevitably. We are showing respect on this Fibonacci retracement. After all, we respected the 0.5 as resistance here. We found a lot of support at the golden ratio zone, and then once we broke below it, we found resistance at the golden ratio, finding support at the 886. We then found direct resistance at the 786, continued to find direct support at the 886, where we are now finding resistance at the 886. Everything about this is exactly what you'd want to see if you're wanting to see the price go down to this area here. And the reality is it's more of an area. We really could go as low as 2 cents. We're at 3.7 cents now. We could go as low as 2 cents down to the golden ratio there and bounce. 3 cents is just the minimum target, but I would expect, at least at this point, that that's probably what we do. Probably. We could find support here. These are fibs. These are ideas that it's not a requirement. Okay, it doesn't need to happen. But this is just what the thought suggests. And I mean, here's another thought. If we find support here, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere's land. Like what price action does that give us to find support? It would have to be, if we were to find support there, we'd have to see some type of like fake out that we come right back up. It'd have to be a very big wick down. And then we come back up, something like that. At least in my humble opinion. If we're looking at this here from a low to a high, your golden ratio zone itself, the 618 to the 69, encapsulates this golden ratio fib extension in itself. It's also very common, the 1414, this little pink line here, it's very common not to bounce right off of it, but to go just a little bit through it. What's just a little bit past that 1414, this golden ratio zone. So there's actually quite a lot of evidence in the charts that suggests that we could go below 3 cents. I didn't think that we would. I thought that we would recover here and find support and move up. I thought this was a fake out, but with this rolling over, it's time to call a spade. And now that I'm bearish, we can pump. Now that I'm bearish, we can pump. Probably. Hold on. Let me see this too. I'm just kind of curious. Where does this come in line? Right here, this high. Comes in line right there. I mean, there's a lot of significance right there at around like 2.4 cents to 2 cents. There's a lot of significance there. So just brace yourselves. That's a very realistic possibility. What I will say, a point in the favor of the bulls is that as we've been moving down, there's really not been a lot of volume. When you move up, there's a lot of volume. There's definitely interest here in seeing this thing come up. I mean, again, fibs are not the end-all, be-all. Maybe I'm not even using the right fib. Maybe it's this fib. I don't know. It could be. But point still being, we're showing respect on this fib. We're showing respect on the extension levels, or at least on this on the retracement levels from this fib so far. We've shown a lot of respect on this fib. With that, I mean, if you're showing a lot of respect, and even still now showing a lot of respect on these fib levels, that just makes me think that we will inevitably go here. The 1272 doesn't make sense to stop at. What price, what reason do we have to stop here? There's no support or resistance. We just moved straight up. The only area that actually makes sense would be here where we had prior resistance, which again is just below the 1414, potentially to the 1618. So that's my thoughts with Zora. I do think that it'll recover. I do think that we'll see new all-time highs. It's just taking a little bit of a back seat right now, and that's okay. The next one is KTA. Kita, the cheetah as it's known. And we are moving up today, 7.7%. A couple days ago, we made a video talking about how this was exactly the expectation, that we would be moving up. Kita hasn't performed exactly as we expected it to, though. You know, I've been bullish and bearish at various moments here. We've been very, very bullish at these lows here. We were also pretty bullish on the Coinbase listing news. So while we've been bullish predominantly at the right places, you know, there was a good time where we were not bullish. We were even bearish here at the top. We were also bearish here at this top, and I was bearish here at this top. So at least two prices that were below 20 cents every single time. And here we are right now at about 26 cents right now, rounding out our bottom, right? Rounding out our bottom here. It looks like we are getting ready to break out. I mean, if this were flipped the other direction, if we were looking like this, I would be crapping my pants right now that we're about to drop. But instead, I'm reverse crapping my pants, and we're about to pump. That's probably what's going to happen. It looks really good here. It looks really, really good. And I don't expect that we're just going to move up in one fell swoop, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did see prices surge past these points of resistance. We probably find some resistance maybe here, where we found resistance before, where we found support before, dating back here. You know, it's a pretty logical area there at about 41 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents, something like that. We take this high to a low right there, and your golden ratio zone, surprise, surprise, is right there at about 39 to 42 cents. So there's a lot of significance at this area where we found resistance before, support before. It makes sense to me that that's probably where we will straight erupt to. We're going to probably erupt all the way up to this level. And then, you know, consolidate, whatever, back test prior resistance for support, and then carry on. I thoroughly believe KTA will see new all-time highs as well, but it's not going to be one fell swoop. If it is, great. I mean, that'd be phenomenal too, but I'd rather be pleasantly surprised by that than counting on it. What I'm counting on is we move up to here. We don't stop at these points of resistance. We break through them. We move up to here, consolidate, and then press on higher. Looking at the daily time frame, looking at these indicators, the RSI is bullish, right? Again, getting these higher highs while promoting lower highs, it's hidden bearish divergence, but inevitably you did turn that around. Now it looks like you've got a high, which is a lower high. You had hidden bearish divergence, so it pulled you back a little bit, but now you're coming up. You're about to get a higher high on the price and a higher high in the RSI, and you're in these bullish areas of control. You're in the perfect formation for some type of a breakout to the upside. And when I say a breakout, I mean it's going to be fast, right? We're going to see probably some of the fastest movements we've seen for KTA since October, since this little Coinbase listing pump that we had here. The stochastics look great. The MACD is also about to cross above the zero, which typically goes hand in hand with breakouts and breakout movements as well. We broke above the zero here, and the daily movement that we saw in the course of like 2 days from a low to a high was a 40% pump. It's not massive. It's not huge. We didn't blast through the roof. This isn't life-changing wealth that you made, but 40% in a 2-day period, the last time that we crossed above the zero, and we weren't even at like low points, right? We were in the midst of a move up. We're at a low point here. I think that we've got a lot to give. I think we're going to see a larger than 40% pump from here. Call me crazy, but I'm believing that that's what it is. I should buy some more KTA. I should have bought some 2 days ago. We knew that it was going to pump up, but I'm fully allocated in crypto, man. If I buy any cryptos right now, I have to sell other cryptos, and I'm in a wait and see kind of moment. I've made my bed. I want to lay in it. I don't really care to play these games, right? I've got KTA, so it's moving up. I'm making money. It doesn't matter. KTA looks great. It looks great. Looks like it's ready right now to move up, and it probably will. KTA, really solid project. I would heavily suggest that anybody who's interested in investing in it does their own research. Same thing with Zora, same thing with Cookie DAO. Do your own research. Don't hear somebody on YouTube saying, hey, it could do this in a couple days, or that in a couple days, or this in a month or two, or whatever it is. Don't listen to anybody saying that and use that as a form of validation to your investment opinions. You're basically gambling at that point. Do your own research, build your own conviction. That's that's how you prevent yourself from getting shaken out and panic selling the lows. Anyways, Cookie DAO. Speaking of panic, we're at some pretty low points here with Cookie DAO as well. I think Cookie's pumping the hardest out of all these coins we've talked about so far. Today, at least today. You know, it's up 8%, which is nice. We've dropped a lot lower than originally anticipated with Cookie Dow as well. Bullish divergence here. You can see it, very immense bullish divergence, higher lows there, and you got the lower low, right? The momentum is clearly shifting a little bit, but I don't like this. I don't like how it seems as though the momentum like picked up. You know, you like to see, I like to see rounded bottoms this way. This that's not good behavior. With that being said, we are kind of rounding out here a little bit, which is nice. But and another thing on the bright note, as we kind of sloped down further, we did not have volume increasing, so that's kind of positive. I think we're oversold. We're highly undervalued. I don't believe Cookie deserves this valuation right now, and we're very underpriced. We'll probably see an immediate snapback to more sensible areas pretty damn soon. Prices above 10 cents and beyond. Looking at the daily RSI, we do have nice higher lows coming in. It's a very nice trajectory that we have here, right? Higher lows. And I like to think of it like this, right? This is how my brain works. And this is something that I've developed over like the 10 years of doing technical analysis that I've got under my belt. This is based off of my experience, and it typically works out pretty well. If you have a channel like this, just like if you have a channel down, right? You have a channel down here, right? Lower highs. You've got your, I mean, even here, you've got, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Even here, you've got your lower lows and lower highs. You had like a little channel right here. You can see it, right? It's not pretty, but it's more or less a channel down. When did you see your most bearish stuff, you know, in this channel here? The most bearish stuff happened when you were at the lower parts, right? This is when you're at below the 50, whenever you're getting to these oversold areas, that's whenever the most bearish stuff happened. You weren't even really getting oversold here. But once you really start getting oversold, you start getting more consistently oversold. You're in this longer kind of drawn out trend like this. It's once you start getting consistently oversold, that's when the worst stuff happens, right? Right? So same kind of line of thinking there is, when do we get toward the overbought area? This is nice. The uptrend is suggestive of good things, but the good things typically happen once we're in these more bullish areas of control. So with our handy dandy channel here, and we could go outside of it at times, you never know, right? It's not perfect, but it's an idea. We could expect to be in the overbought zone probably as early February, if not late February, early March. So February to March should be very awesome for Cookie Dow. Meanwhile, we'll consolidate and work our way up, right? I don't expect anything explosive to happen today or tomorrow or next week even. Maybe. You never know. We are very oversold. But I do expect, probably going into the end of this month and certainly February and March, I do expect we're going to see some eruptive behavior. So Cookie, I would say Zora is kind of, if I could give a brief summary into each of these coins and my thoughts on them as far as investing goes. KTA, FOMO worthy. FOMO. Like, get in right now. It's about to pump. Cookie Dow, DCA worthy. It's DCA worthy. I think it's fine, even though we're up 8%. I think it's DCA worthy. We're probably going to be building higher lows and higher highs. We're not going to be exploding. It could happen. But, you know, if you watch for the dips, even from here, we move up a little bit. We move up to like 6 cents. Then we come back down. You try to buy the dips over the next couple of weeks, few weeks. DCA worthy. It'll probably continue to climb. Try to buy the dips over the next few weeks. That's my thoughts. Not financial advice. Not a financial advisor. And then with Zora, I would say we're in a wait and see kind of moment. KTA, FOMO, Cookie Dow, it's DCA, a little bit more time permissive. And then Zora is, I would say, something that, not that you should sell. And sell any of these, buy any of these if you want. This is not financial advice, but more in a wait and see kind of moment. I would say Zora, because it's so oversold, if it pumps, if I'm wrong about it and it pumps, cool, you can always buy after that, and it's still going to be dramatically lower than where its all-time high is. But if it does continue to go lower, if we do go below 3 cents, we're at 3.7 cents now, that's a pretty significant drop. So I would just say wait and see with that one. I hope all this makes sense. They all have immense potential. They all will see new all-time highs in a matter of no time at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all if by the end of March, Cookie Dow was up above 30 cents. I mean, it could even be by the end of February. This thing can move very fast when it wants to. Maybe it's the end of March and we're at new all-time highs altogether. But when we do see new all-time highs, the target areas that we are immediately considering are anything from about $1.95 to $5.70. You're at 4 cents now. So, I mean, those are immense gains that will likely happen by the end of this year. And I do expect Cookie Dow to see prices as high even as, I mean, we could see some crazy stuff, man. We could see some crazy stuff. I don't know if we go as high as $43. We were assuming that for a long time. It's just not going to happen. Not with this pullback. I mean, that's a 1,000x, man. That's crazy stuff. If we see that, it's not that it's impossible. You've got a low enough market cap where it could happen, but I don't think so. Probably your high for this cycle will be somewhere between 570 and maybe $20, maybe. But that's my assumption. Anyways, I digress. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. All right, bye.